Hello, Tech Edinam fans. Usually, it is recommended that you split the content of your test suite into separate files. So, for instance, you put the variables in its own file, the test cases into their own file, and then any other keyword into their own file. So, in this video, that is what we are going to do. We are going to refactor this test suite, this register employees test suite, and put the various sections into their own files. But before we do that, let us run this test suite again, so we make sure things are still running as they should. So we have 3 employees still in the database. So now let's run the file and see. So as you can see, we still have the delete employees, which use the web elements that was not working too well. So let's delete this one and maintain the second one. So let me just remove this. And as you can see, we have delete all tag, register, and then what? Delete John, delete Jane tags. I have added a few more test cases from the previous video. The previous video had the delete Diego test case just to delete one employee, but I've added a few more for the other employees. So all of them have different tags as well. So we can't run them one by tag. We can either run the whole file or there's another keyword we can use. Usually, if you have a lot of test cases with different tags, you can use another keyword. So you can run that unique keyword, unique tag, then all the other test cases in this test suite will run. And the keyword is force tags. And then you supply the tag you want to use. So now we are telling the test suite to assign this run all tag to all the test cases within this test suite. So instead of delete all, we will see, or it will use the run all tag for all the test cases within this test suite. So let's see it in action. So we have the robot command, and then the include, and then run all, and then the output directory, and then the file to run. Yeah, register. So let's see what happens. So at the beginning, it's going to delete all the employees from the table, and then it re-registers the employees one after the other, and then it deletes them one after the other as well. So let's see. Yeah, so this running. Yeah, all the employees have been deleted from the database. Now it's going to re-register the employees. Yep, John is registered. Now Jane. Michael. Diego. And Gretchen. Now it's going to delete all of them one after the other. So John is gone. Jane is gone. Michael. Diego. And finally, Gretchen. Yeah, so that's finished. Now let's check the log. Yes, so everything has passed. So let's check the screenshot for Gretchen. Yeah, so the table is empty. So if we check for Diego, yeah, we still have Gretchen because Gretchen was the last employee to be deleted. So now let's go back to PyCharm and start the refactoring. Yes, since typically you can have tens of test cases in the test suite, you can have a lot of variables in the test suite as well. So it is recommended to separate those sections into their own files. So how do we do that? So we have the variables, we have the keywords. So let's create a directory in the root, in the robot framework course directory. So let's say those will be resources. And then we can have the test cases as well. Test cases. So we have one directory for the test cases, one directory for resources. That will be the keywords and the variables. And then in the resources, we can have other directories as well. Let's say documents. So if you have an Excel sheet or PDF you want to attach, you can have them in the documents. And then let's create a different directory for the variables as well, in case we have multiple files under the variables. And then we can have the keywords as well, directory for the keywords. Yeah, so now that we have the folders, now let's start with the variables. So now let's cut the variable section from this register employees file. So we cut it. Now let's go to the variables and create a file. Let's say variables.robot. And then let's paste them here. So all the global variables will come here instead of in this register employees.robot file. And as you can see, it's already complaining about the URL. It says undefined variable URL. And then the browser as well. We have created the file, we have cut and pasted them here, but we have not imported them yet. And the imports come under this section, the settings section. So after importing all your libraries, next up, you type resource. That's how files are imported. Yes. So, but before we do that, let's take the register employees robot into the test cases as well, because it has its own, it should also have its own folder. So we can just drag it into the test cases and refactor. So now the path to that one has changed. Yes, so now we have the register employees test case. The register employees file in the test cases folder. So let's see. Yes, in the test cases, as you can see from the link. So now we want to import the variables into this register employees file. So what do? We are in the register employees file, which is in the test cases folder. So we need to come out from this folder and then go into the resources and then the variables and the variables file. So 2 dots and then the / and then the resources folder and then the variables folder and then the variables.robot. Yeah, let's see. So we are here in the resources, in the test cases. Let's come out into the resources, not the spelling. Sometimes you would have to close the IDE and then reopen. So let's see if it is resolved. Yes. So after closing the IDE and reopening it, it resolves. So we are done with the variables. Now let's do the keywords as well. So we can just go here and cut the keywords from here. Cut. Let's go to the keywords directory, and let's say, what was the, let me actually undo. We have, let's separate these ones from the employees themselves. So we can have, let's say this will be generic or login or whatever you want to. Let's say login, even though it doesn't really login.robot. Then we can paste them over here. And but as you can see, it's not active, more or less. So we have to remember to bring this one, keywords, and still we have red line under the open browser. It says what? Undefined keyword open browser, because we have not brought in the Selenium library itself. So we have to bring it in as well. So Selenium library. Yes, and then the lines disappear. So that was the login. So let's create another file. Let's say register.robot. So which means anything concerning registering the employee has to come into this file. So let's say register an employee. So let's cut that one. Let's go to register. Let's bring in the settings as well. And then the Selenium library. And then the keywords. And let's paste. Yeah, so that is also done. And let's go to the delete an employee keyword. So let's cut that one and create another file for that one. So delete.robot, and let's bring in the settings and the Selenium library and the keywords. Yeah, and that is also done. Yeah, but as you can see, we still have red lines over here because we have not brought them in yet. So we have the variables. Let's bring them in. So let's start with the keywords. We have keywords, and then let's go with the login.robot first. Then let's duplicate it a couple of times. So we have the login. Now we have register. Then we have the delete as well. So now everything. So we still have the register an employee to be underlined. Sometimes, I don't know why, you have to close the IDE first. Then it works. I don't know why. So let us close the IDE. Yes. So now after reopening the IDE, now everything is active. So this is how the splitting is done. So you just create folders and files and give them descriptive names. So when you open it, when you open the project another time, you know what, let's say, the delete.robot does. So when you put all the keywords into the files, this is how to import them. So the resource keyword, and it takes the path to the file you want to import. So the double dot means you are leaving the current folder and navigating to the resources folder, the variables folder, and then and targeting the variables.robot, for example. So now let's rerun the test cases and see, but the delete employees would fail. So let's rerun it and see. Oh yes, I have changed the path to the register employees has changed. So let's specify that path as well. Or we can just navigate into the test case folder. Yes, test cases. And let's run this file. So let's see what the delete employees does. Yeah, it is waiting for 10 seconds. But there's nothing on the page, so it's going to fail. Yeah, so there's a reason I ran them before and after, so we know things are still working. That's really recommended. I recommend before you make any major change, you run your test cases first, and then after the changes, we rerun them and see if they are still running. So as you can see, they are still re-registering. So let's see if all of them works. Yeah, so it's still re-registering. Now starting the deletion, but we don't have to go through all of it. So I can just close it by using the Control C command. Yeah, so I've stopped the execution. So that is how the refactoring is done. If you want to clean up your test suite, it is recommended you put all the sections into their own files. So it is a lot cleaner because typically you have dozens of test cases. So when you open the register employees file, you know it only contains test cases. So you know how to approach it. So now we can delete this. So if you need any keyword, you can go to the keywords directory, or you can just hold your control, or on Mac, I think it should be the command. So hold the control and hover over the keyword and click, and it takes you straight to the definition. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share because more content is coming. Thank you for watching.